Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Gracie and today I'm going to be going through my spring curriculum with you. I don't know about anyone else, but the personal curriculum has been flooding my For You page and I've honestly been really enjoying it. So I've decided to put together some things that I really want to do over the next season of spring, and this is what I've come up with. I'm going to have to do this quick because this is heavy. But this is my spring curriculum. I have decided to break these down by units. The first 4 are very school-like curricula. I've broken them down into 4 different classes. We have English, Science, SOSE, and PE. I will do a bit more explanation on SOSE when I get to it because as I have discovered as I've gotten older, that actually isn't the most common subject, but it was very common for me where I grew up. So I'll give a bit of an explanation on that when I get to it. First unit is English, and so for me that will be going into literary books. So I'm thinking Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, The Great Gatsby, the classics of books. I've actually not really read any. I do have quite a few in my collection, but I haven't read them. I think I've just been daunted by the idea of them. Obviously, they're not as just like easy reads. It's just picking up some trashy rom-com, easy to get through. It actually requires some thinking and to understand what the writer is putting in front of you. I've actually started this by Pride and Prejudice. On Audible, I'm currently listening to the Rosamund Pike's version of Pride and Prejudice, and it is so good. She does the voices really well. I'm about halfway and I'm really loving it. I'm a bit disappointed I haven't done it sooner. I absolutely love the 2005 Pride and Prejudice movie. It is one of my all-time comfort movies, and I am a bit disappointed in myself for not doing it sooner, but you know, better late than never, and I'm really enjoying it. The next unit in my curriculum is Science, so this will be astronomy. I got these books a couple years ago for Christmas, and I flicked through them a couple times, but I've not really absorbed any of the information in here. I cannot wait to get into these, but I'm going to put them down because they're really heavy. I have always enjoyed space. The idea of space and just what we do know and don't know about it, how large it is, how much there is to learn about it. I know basics, but I really want to dive deeper. I also do have a telescope that I haven't used for a while, but I do plan on whipping her out so that I can observe the beauty of space, the stars, the planets. As I learn more about it, I just think that'll add like a fun little twist to my unit. At the start of the year, I was in America on a family holiday, and I was very much lucky enough to go to the NASA Space Center, and I just had an absolute ball learning about the moon landing and the rockets and where they build them. It was so fascinating, and so I'm very excited for this unit. This next unit is SOSE, and as I've come to learn, SOSE wasn't as common of a subject that I thought it was. Where I grew up, it was what we did in every high school, but outside of my town, as it so turns out, not everyone actually did it. If you did it, I'd be really interested to know, because the more people I talk to, the less I think it was actually common. But essentially, SOSE was our subject where we learned everything. We had terms on stocks, on geography, on history, on politics. It was kind of the subject where all the subjects came together. That wasn't our main subject. And so I learned a lot in SOSE. Every term it was a different subject and we explored different things. And so that is what this is for me. This is SOSE, and it is the book of everything. Actually called the book, The Ultimate Guide of Rebuilding Civilization, but I like to call it the book of everything because it has everything. And I kid you not, the things that you can learn out of this book, incredible. Just to give you an idea on some of the things that it touches on. So this is the book, and some of its table of contents includes medicine, plants, animals, building, mechanics, electricity, aviation, everyday life, art, music, games, society. I can't say too much more on this book yet because I've not read any of it. I have flicked through it and the illustrations are incredible, as you would have just seen, but I've not read it, so I can't comment on like what I will actually learn from this. But I think this is great for SOSE because it's the book of everything and it's going to touch on all different aspects that I'm very interested to learn in. My next unit is PE, and for me that is focusing on health and fitness. So I was in a bad car accident 7-8 weeks ago now, and that has put a spanner in my life, so to speak. But from that, I'm in the middle of rehabilitation. So a part of that is I have physiotherapy appointments, which I have one today. I also have an exercise physiologist, and within that, I also have daily exercises that I have to do, and I'm actually going to insert a clip of it here because I think it's so funny. We're seriously in the future with how my rehab is going, because this is everything that you see on the screen now was sent to me by this rehab company, and they can monitor all of my stretches and movements and tailor the program based on what results they see. It's pretty cool. In addition to that though, I have also decided I really want to take a bit more focus on my health in general. So my goal is I'm going to do about 30 minutes of exercise every day, and I'm going to try to hit a minimum of 10,000 steps a day as well, just to get that cardiovascular system moving and so that I am super healthy and live the longest life possible. So they are kind of my main core units. So the English, the science, SOSE and PE. So they're, as I said, the typical things that you could find in school. My next ones are what I like to call my extracurriculars, and then these are things that I just have fun with and I want to dedicate more time with and spend more time growing my skills in those areas. But in the typical schooling system, I would categorize these as extracurriculars. The first one I am starting off with is journaling. This is my first unit in extracurriculars. I love journaling, but I have not dedicated enough time to it. I have really been enjoying watching people's junk journaling videos on their For You page, so I've decided to just add a bit more time to my journaling. So this is my personal journal. This has things about me and about my cat, about my boyfriend, about my life. It's messy, it's got photos, it's got stickers, and I love her. It's more personal, so I don't really just put random stuff in here. It's kind of more like a deep dive into my brain and my feelings and what I think, but it's not a diary, if that makes sense. This next one is my travel journal, and boy oh boy do I need to buckle down and put some work into this. I went to Japan last year and I'm still working on my Japan entries. Since Japan, I have been to America. America is not in here whatsoever. I am so behind, and at the end of the year I'm going to Europe. I need to get cracking on this because I want this done before Europe, because Europe is going to be a big holiday and the backlog of that just daunts me. So here's a few entries from my travel journal so far. Japan was really cool because you could go to different locations and these were hand drawn at temples, or there was like stamps. It was really cool actually. But then I've just like, put bits and pieces, receipts, tags, our time at Universal Studios, things like that. So I really need to get cracking and fix this. My next journal, I have yet to decide what I'm putting in this. I think it's going to be a mix of personal and a junk journal. This one is from Martina's Tiny Store and I highly recommend, just look at it. So this is empty at the moment, but I plan on, making her a bit more personality. My next extracurricular unit is hobby time, and it is a broad term, hobby time. I have so many things I want to put into this. I couldn't just title it one thing. Actually, rename, this will be my arts and crafts extracurricular. It actually is kind of more of a standard unit, but this is still falling into my extracurricular. Then my arts and crafts is crochet. I started crochet just after my accident. It was something that I thought I could do to make the time go because I couldn't be on screens very much. It's hard. I was surprised at how hard it was. I didn't think it'd be easy and I didn't think I'd be able to do it straight away, but it's much harder than I was expecting. So I'll be dedicating way more time. As you can see here, I was starting a bee. I was struggling with the bee. I had to put a stop to the bee because it was triggering some headaches from my concussion. But now that I'm on the mend and I'm feeling much better, I'm gonna put some more time and I'm hopefully gonna have this bee completed within this curriculum. The next hobby within this arts and crafts is watercolour painting. I just started this last week and I'm having so much fun with it. So I came across someone on my For You page who kind of spoke about the fact that painting, drawing, arts and crafts, it's not that serious and who cares what it looks like as long as you're having fun. And I kind of took away from that and I was like, that is exactly what I needed to hear. As a perfectionist, I would start something and stop it because I wasn't immediately good at it, and it's not a great trait to have. And so I just picked up some paper, I picked up the paints, and I just kind of went for it. As you can see, that butterfly looks like a 10-year-old did it, but I had so much fun doing it. And honestly, when I look at it, I love it because I took that expectation away that whatever I made had to be perfect. Then I just went for it. I had some tracing papers, so I just made some flowers and butterflies, and I had so much fun. The final hobby for my arts and crafts unit is clay. I got a massive clay kit for Christmas a couple years ago, and last year I made some Christmas ornaments, but past that I've really not done anything with it, and I had a lot of fun when I made those Christmas ornaments. So I really want to dedicate some time to making some more clay things, maybe some trinket dishes, or I don't know, I've got some inspo on my For You page, but that is another unit within my arts and crafts that I really want to dedicate some time to. The next unit in my extracurricular is catching up on my book club books. This year took a bit of a turn for me. I was in a car accident. It was a pretty bad one, and I've not read since, and because of that I'm actually quite behind on my book club books. So there are 3 books that I really need to get around to reading. It is The Ninth House, Flowers in the Attic, Julie Chen is Dead. I also have a reading journal from my book club, and so that's going to kind of be my homework for this unit, is filling out the reading journal for books that I have already read that I just haven't put in it, and then just really getting that reading journal up to date so that I'm ready for my next month's book club. The next extracurricular, it could be considered one of my main unit subjects, but I did put it in extracurricular because when I was in school this was an elective for me and I chose to do it for fun, but it will be baking. I got this book for Christmas this year, and it is The Science of Baking. It breaks down kind of the methods and what you can do to make things gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, whatever your dietary requirement is. This book is meant to break down the science so that whatever you make essentially comes out like it is made with normal ingredients. But I am celiac, so baking is a big thing for me that I have learned over the last 8 years since getting celiac disease. And I really wanted this book because, as I said, it breaks down the science, and essentially anything that I make gluten-free should turn out as if a normal baker had made it. So this is my extracurricular that I'm very excited for, and I plan on making something maybe once a week, but we'll see. My curriculum is actually quite large, so we'll see how often I get to this, but I'm very excited for it. Now my next unit, it is not necessarily a requirement for me to pass my spring curriculum. However, it is a nice to have, and that is essentially getting through my TBR. So I'm planning on making a TBR series. My TBR is absolutely out of control. I have put myself on a book buying ban. I have 2 conditions to that book buying ban. Rule number 1, I'm allowed to buy Alchemized when it is released. This year, Manacled is my favorite book ever. It is my 6-star, 7-star. It is my god tier book that nothing will ever compare to, and so reading Alchemized will be a requirement for me. So I'm allowed to buy Alchemized, and I'm allowed to buy my book club books. So they're my 2 conditions to my book buying ban, and with that, hopefully I get through my TBR. My last unit, this is less of a study or a craft or skills, but kind of to help improve my vibe, my aura, my joy, just things to just bring me happiness, and that's just to be more whimsical. I want to practice being more whimsical. It's kind of out with the overconsumption, out with the trends, and just following what is hot for the week, and then it's something different the next week. It's just being more whimsical, being more who I am, true to myself, and just with that I just feel like happiness comes with it, and so that is a big thing for me this year, and so that is that unit. So that is my spring curriculum. It is large. I have the 4 main units of knowledge and learning, and then I have my extracurriculars, which I am very excited to get into. This is really, really fun for me to put together, and if I'm going to be entirely honest, I'm very excited to get into it. So stay tuned. I think I will make this a series, honestly, where I just show my elements of my curriculum as I go through them through spring. I have 3 months for it, which kind of brings me up to the point of going to Europe. So I think this is perfect timing. And yeah, I hope you stick along for the ride. As I said, this was so much fun to make, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.